Hi there, I'm Lori at Positive Thanks Living. This is day 25. Simple circle, deep breaths. And I'm doing Junk Journal July 2026, and this is Junk Journal July UK. I don't know if you can see it that well. We have 31 prompts, and we're on the home stretch. I made this little signature, day 14, book scraps. And what I'm doing in it is going to my rolling cart, the second shelf of 3. I have mark making, art making implements. Includes paint and pens and pastels and some plain pencil crayons, pencils, pens, pastels, chalk pastels, and these things. So what I thought I'd do is just share what I've done so far, and then I'll demonstrate and talk a little bit about each one. So you get a chance, if you don't have them, you can see if it's something you're interested in. These are calligraphy pens, and they are 2 different styles. One is a nib. You see how it's sort of flat? I'll demonstrate in a bit. And the other one is brush calligraphy. And they have a soft brush. Oh, yeah, okay. They're brushes. And they're both from my daughter. And they're old. This one is something called Mr. Pen, and they are highlighters. Very different consistency. They're waxy. The nice part is that they don't bleed through. Like, I like using them in my Bible because I can highlight certain, and on the very fine Bible paper, you can't see it on the other side. This one here, these are dots. Pens that make dots and lines. And I'll demonstrate again, but you see each, they have, literally you just put them down on the paper and it's a dot. But they do bleed through the other side. And this is not light paper. This is atlas paper. Then this here, these are the Gelatos, Faber-Castell. And are they? Yes, they are. They do come off sometimes if you don't let them dry. I'll demonstrate in a little bit. These here are watercolor pencils, and they're the oldest thing I have on my desk. These have to be almost 30 years old, and I've used them. They still work, no problem. I guess what I want to say is, with art supplies, in many cases, not all cases, but in many cases, they will last for a long time if you make sure the caps are on, etc. The watercolor pencils, no problem. The Gelatos, one of the reasons I got them was when I saw people using them, they talked about how long they'd had them in their drawers and pulled them out and they still worked. So that made me feel happy. This here, so pencils, just plain pencils, always an option. These here, these and this is the Caran D'Ache, and they are very expensive in my opinion, but they'll last. Again, people have talked about having them in their drawers for a long time and they last. So the investment that you make, even though it's significant and you may have to save up for it, it's worthwhile. And these here are just pencil crayons. And I use the word just, being kind of, they're not just, they're nice pencil crayons. They have what's called the art grip. Again, my daughter. All of her art stuff came to live with me once I had a space to put it in. These here are, these circles are the Outliner Micron 10. They're quite wide. This here are my newest on my desk, and these are the pens. I bought a set for my grandchildren, new school year kind of set, and I kept some colors that I like. This, you know what this is? That's what this is. Don't forget, your ink is always a great mark maker. And the circular sponge, perfect circle. And if you look at it, just look at the texture. This here paint, now I am particularly fond of Gansai Tambi paints. They are a hybrid of watercolor gouache. They're Japanese style watercolors, and they're less opaque. No, they're more opaque, less transparent than regular watercolors. But I like their consistency. They're like creamy in a sense. But these are special because this has a pearl look. This set has, it's shimmery. Yeah, it's shimmery. And of course the gold. These are all the different colors of gold. Someone sent me these and I am thrilled to be playing with them. Okay, so this was the blue. This was the pink over here. This was the green. These here are chalk pastels. Out of all of the things on my desk, I like these chalk pastels the least. And here's why. When you put them on a piece of paper, and let me just grab a piece of paper quickly. Piece of book page, because I can. When you put the chalk pastels on the book page, because I'll only be using them in this once, your fingers are a mess. So first, you have messy fingers. Then, not only that, do you see how they have this powder? Now, maybe I don't know how to use chalk pastels well, and that is very possible. However, no matter how long you leave them, they are not going to stop. In my experience, and this is Faber-Castell. To me, it's a fair. It's not a dollar store or whatever. But they're not going to dry. They're not going to stop. See, I'll dry this off. They're not going to stop coming off on anything for any reason. Let's say I use a wet wipe. And they're really pretty, aren't they? With the wet wipe. But look, now you have some on your wet wipe and you have some on your page. And they will still come off. See? The only way that I've found to make sure they don't come off, okay, here. They don't come off here. I used hairspray, the cheapest hairspray I could find. And that will fix them. But then you can hairspray on things. So that is my review of chalk pastels. They're wonderful. They're beautiful colors. But in our junk journals, if we don't want them to get onto something else, we have to do a fixative. And the fixative, whatever it is, I mean, there is a more expensive kind. I think you can use some kind of liquid, but the hairspray worked the best. Anyhow, I'm not going to use them again in this project, just because of the reasons. All right, now, I think I went a little further. Oh yes, these are those wax things again. I like those. Isn't that a pretty color? So nice. We are now to our tea portion of our video. I've been having tea every day. And I'm going to say cheers. I wish you were here. We'd share a cup of tea. I'd pour for you even if you didn't want to drink it. You wouldn't have to. Okay. This is my second last unique cup out of however many days we're doing now. This is 25, I think I said. Yep. So I have one more unique cup. This one is the second oldest. This set came from dishes of my mom's when my mom and dad got married in 1950 something, 1 or 2. So it's more than 50 years old. And the one tomorrow that you'll see is over 100 years old. So there you go. Now let's move on. Oh, I did more. Apparently I did. This feels like the waxy ones again, which are these, the Mr. Pen. Yep, I think it was the purple one that I did. I'll show you. Just little circles. Good breaths for calmness. And this here, nope, it was this one here. This paint was this. And today, rather than a regular brush, I'm using a water brush because it's easy to clean while we're just going through the book. All right. Let's do some circles here. Let's try out the gold, the different golds. Now I did have some water, on this, but let's add some more. And we'll go from the lightest to the darkest. Here is the lightest gold. And again, this is Gansai Tambi watercolors, Japanese style. So they're a little more opaque. Next, this one here. This is light gold. I don't see any. Do you? Oh, starting. More. Wonder what it would look like on white paper. This is champagne gold. Look at that. Okay, that's pretty. Don't you think? This is yellow gold. Breathe with me. Deep breaths. This one is red gold. Okay. Interesting. Circles and breaths. And lastly, blue gold. This is my first time trying this set. So, you and I are being introduced to it together. There we go. Let's do a little bit of the sky. And I have water in here, so when I squeeze the water pen, the paint reactivates. Okay. I'm going to just put a little bit of paper towel down so I can turn the page and not get it on the next one. And here, let's do something other than paint on this side. I want to show you these Mr. Pen highlighters. Oh, I'm sorry, we're doing circles. Oh, wow. Neat idea. Lots of circles on this page because it's notes. They're so creamy and so easy to use. I really enjoy these Mr. Pen highlighters. And if you see, it has a twist thing. You can twist it, and they were not expensive at the time I purchased them. It's a few years ago, but they were not in comparison to other highlighters. See? The colors are muted. Now there are different colors in this set, like shadings. So whatever you choose to purchase. Let's do these, my newest options here. This, I like gel pens. This is Papermate Ink Joy. But I must say, when I purchased this set, it came with a green, and the green didn't work. So out of 3 pens on sale, $4, almost $5, one didn't work. So I pulled in, this is from last year. I think I have a red one here too, beside me. You're listening to my trolley turning. And this is not the same Papermate Ink Joy. It is, but it's not that kind. And the reason I'm going for red here, because see, there's red. So now is the time of year in North America. If you want to buy some pens, you'll get at least something off of the pen, meaning number of dollars. Sweet tea. What goes with sweet tea? Do you want to try the Caran D'Ache? Let's try the Caran D'Ache. This one is interesting because you can use it dry, meaning just coloring. And you can add as many layers as you want. You can also use it with water, and it becomes like a paint. See? Here's another one. I'm going to have to put some paper towel over. Look at this. Now this is very old paper. This is a German recipe book. So I don't know how it's going to work on the other side. Seems to be okay. So the Caran D'Ache, it'll last for a very long dash time. Because, yeah, I'd really have to scribble with it. But you see the option, you have both dry, like a crayon. And this is made in Switzerland, and they're quite expensive, in my opinion. But kind of like people talk about the gelatos, I expect to have them for the rest of my time making art. And they're sitting beside me, and I can just grab them and make a mark or a circle, just like that. Isn't that fun? To me, this is the sort of thing you'd put on your wish list. And if somebody wants to give you a gift, especially if they understand how important it is to have different items as a person who does art. Okay, let's use the sketch pencils for this page. You've seen this when I did the soft line, slow. We did it soft pencil, slow line. You can check that video because I showed the differences in pencils. This one is a 12B. I think there's a 14. There's a 14 still. That's softer, but I really like the softness of this graphite. The nice part, or the interesting part. Okay, watch this. If I take a book page, on book page, all right, we'll just use this. If I put graphite on it, all right, just like that, and then I want to trace something, and I'm going to use something that wouldn't write. Again, checking my, so no, well, I don't want to put a hole through it. Here, a pencil, but I'm getting rid of the pencil. So I'm putting the graphite down. Now I'm going to, just with the shape, oh, pardon me, it does write, oh well. But this won't go through. I'm practicing my cup and saucer skills still. Watch. Ta-da! Pencils, so cool. You've done rubbings before. You know, you bring a leaf in and what do? I'm going to have to look that up. Maybe you can do a video about that if you make videos. You know, leaf rubbings. I'd like to learn how to do that again. So, graphite pencils, fun, simple, easy, inexpensive. So many techniques. Here. Let's do the gelatos. These are Faber-Castell. And again, when I was watching other people's videos, they talked about how long they'd had their pastels. We're talking years, 5 years. And they were thrilled to continue to use them, that they would still be viable. Now, it has a twist like this, and it's definitely will come off on your fingers, but it does dry. So to make my circle, I just twirled it. Now they can get a little, what do you call it? crumbly. Yeah, crumbly. And the neat part is you can use these both just the way I'm doing. You can get messy fingers by going like this, so it almost rubs it into the page. And then let's do, oh, there's no green in that page. Let's do blue. I am fond of blue. What's your favorite color? Leave a comment with your favorite color. Let's confuse the other people that read the comments. All right, this time I'm going to use the brush when I wet the gelato. Isn't that neat? You can do it this way. So rubbing it on, or you could do it this way. Grab the color with your brush and paint just like that. Isn't that neat? Slow circles. Slow breath. Breathe with me. So, those are the gelatos. And this is going to need a little bit of paper also, so that until they dry, I don't want to get it on this page. All right, we did these and that. We did the Caran D'Ache. Let me show you. Crumbly, see? They get a little crumbly. And then they spread. Okay, so they're not without mess. But if you're more careful than I am, it's better. I didn't demonstrate these, did I? I did in another video, but these are the oldest things I have here. They are watercolor pencils. So I'm using them like pencil crayons. I can sharpen them. The ink is in there. But it's not ink, it's actually paint. Dye, paint. Not sure. Here's what I mean. All of a sudden, it becomes paint. And there are many videos online about using these as watercolor. I like to do this with my grandchildren because there is less opportunity for mess than a traditional watercolor. Like if we're out, let me just put a little bit of the red here. The other option, you can take the pigment. That's what's in there. You can take the color off of the actual pencil. And just like that, you have a watercolor. See? Neat, huh? Almost 30 years old. Still effective. Worth the investment. Next. All right. Let's do this. Now this is a brush. And it might go through, so I'm going to do it here. And it's meant for calligraphy, or if you press hard, you get a thick line. if you press softly, you get a thin line. See? So I can make a circle that has both a thin line and a thick line. And if I were to do it properly, there. It's been a long time since I practiced calligraphy. So that's one style. This is a brush. And obviously this one here has a thin option on the other end. They're dual pens. And these are all, again, probably 10 years. Well, formulated for clear stamps. I didn't read that before. I guess you can put it on a stamp and then stamp the stamp. All right. Did I do this again that you could see it? I'll do it now. Down just like this. And most of the time we try not to have the circular portion, but for this it works well. Just like so. Now, you saw the brush. This one is a nib. If you see here, large and small lettering. So you have a 3.5 millimeter and a 2 millimeter. Stettler again. These are not new at all. So this is the less wide for calligraphy. And this one is the wider. See? You can just use the edge, or you can use the whole thing. If you see these kinds of pens in the charity shops or thrift stores, check and see if they still work. You can see that even old pens will work well. Okay, I mean, you know how paints work. You know now how the different nibs work, the Caran D'Ache, the Watercolor Pencils, Gelatos, pastels. These meant for highlighting. Yeah, I think we're pretty much have gone through everything on my desk. Oh, these ones I didn't. This will do. So they have the round nib and they have a slim nib. And I'm going to show you on another piece of paper because this is just about circles. But see, and the harder you press, supposedly, the wider the circle. Light pressure, small circle. Heavy pressure, larger circle. This one isn't as indicative of it. And these are called color spot. Heavy circle. So different pressure gives you a different size circle. And when I was exploring these, here, let's try this. Look what you can do with them. Let's see if I can remember. So you can go like this. So you make a comma. No. Huh. Do I remember? It was a heart. It was a way of making a heart. There. Or you use the narrow part to make a vine. And then this, yes, there we go, is like leaves on the vine. Isn't that neat? Fun. I got to practice again. But it will go through. It's not good for highlighting and it's not good for thin paper. But it is fun. So I'll just flip through the rest of this book. I'm going to continue making circles through here, but you and I don't have to do it together. I put pictures from the Tea Time magazine in this book. Ads, things that I liked. And, oh, a wall of tea. When I went to the tea shop the other day. I saw that. So, here we go. This is the small signature that I did for day 14, book scraps. And today is simple circle, deep breaths. Circle, deep breath. Tomorrow, come on back for rough texture. Haven't worked that one out yet. In the meantime, I wish you well. Happy crafting. Cheers.